Yo, we truth seekers, real, raw. Yo, we truth seekers. Yo, I know this life is a fight, but I'm following Jesus the light. Real, raw. Yo, we truth seekers.
All right, we're good to go. But talking what you said, the stabbing thing real fast on the train. Uh,
Yeah, the stabbing thing.
I mean, I did see one thing where I didn't really see much on it at all, but I did see where one person said, you can hear him on the train telling somebody that he got that white girl or something like that. So to me, that means either two different things. It could mean either a race thing, race type crime, or what he meant was, um, if she had some type of altercation with them or somebody he knew ahead of time, he's just saying, "Hey, and they just know that person as it's the white girl." You know what I'm saying? So he was just literally saying, "Hey, I got this person. Like I got that person." So it's
Well, the
one of those
dude,
two things.
dude, according to his sister, um, apparently confessed that he uh he thought she was like he. I guess he's got some like schizophrenic issues as well, like some mental health issues, and
Yeah.
he thought she was reading his mind, and that's why he stabbed her. Which, I mean, beside the fact, okay, so he's got some mental issues, but the dude is also like he committed like he's he's been in and out of jail what 17 times they say
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah, something like that.
And so, and I guess the judge that released him, um, that recently released him, like runs like some sort of rehab thing or something like that. But dude shouldn't have been one. Apparently, he didn't have a ticket. He somehow got on the train without a ticket, and so that was a failure of the system
Security and
there.
stuff. Yeah.
And then another failure of the system was he should have been out there in the first place. He should have
Yeah.
been either locked up in a
And
institution or locked up in jail. Either
from
way.
what I seen or heard, he apparently just all he had to do was sign a piece of paper promising not to do anything, and he didn't even have to pay anything to be released. Zero bond, zero bail, just let free.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, I think that judge should be held accountable and be charged for murder.
Yes. Facts.
That's what I think on it.
Like it is. Yeah. Like there's a chain there as far as responsibility, and if you, I mean, it goes with anything. Like any position of authority where you have that decision, it falls back on you. Um,
Well,
that's even if it's like yeah,
I
whatever
always
consequence it is.
I always wondered what happened to three strikes and you're done. Like what always happened to that? It used to be three like felonies or three certain charges, serious charges, and you were locked away for life because it's just common human sense. By the time you get caught twice, if you don't learn your lesson and change by the third time, you're never going to stop doing the stuff you're doing. You're never going to stop being violent. You're never going to stop stealing. You're never going to stop. So they just lock you away after the third one. Now it's like you can have 17 and still be walking free. Like I can have a Grand Theft Auto. I can have five different violent charges against me and I can still walk around free and stuff. Like that makes
Yeah,
no sense at all.
it's a lot with the system. Like on one hand, there are our jails and prisons are overcrowded for one, but that's also because of the system itself of who we put in prison and who and and what we do with people in jail or in prison. Like from firsthand experience, like when you go to jail, like you there is no hope there. Like they don't preach that you're gonna have any sort of hope whatsoever. And
Hmm.
so one of the things that I think was always heartbreaking to hear is that like um like you have people who may have done one thing or something like that, or people who have done like there was a guy when I was in who was in there for a year because he missed some child support payments because his business like suffered a little bit because of I forget, like there was some stuff that was going on at that point in time, but um he had been faithful in paying them, and he had like let them know like, hey, this is what's going on. And because his ex-wife was vindictive, she just like made up a bunch of stuff, and he was in jail for a year.
Yeah.
And he takes up the spot of someone who probably,
The person
you
that
know
just stabbed somebody for no reason.
right. So why put him in jail for a year for that when there could possibly be some other aspect that we could. The thing is, like, we are easy to be lazy enough to put whoever in jail, but also lazy enough not to keep those who need to be in jail, or provide them the necessary help within the system that they need.
Um, what was trying to think of a better way. Like somebody, like the whole system doesn't make sense. In a way, it makes more sense that it's set up to kick you when you're down and to put you in debt and to basically try to kill you off in a way, because
Hmm.
all types of things dealing with that, they set it up to where you're in trouble because you owe them money, but then they take your license from you so you can't go to work. They put you in jail so you can't make money, and then want to keep adding money onto it and then wondering why you're not paying them and get mad at you for not paying them, but they make it
Hmm.
impossible for you to make money to pay them. So that's why I said it's just a
They do.
scam setup. Like the whole system's a setup. And in my opinion, for something like child support or debt you owe somebody, I think they should do something to where it's more like community service, where they force you to work at a certain place until it's paid off, until you work that amount
Right.
off, and then you can go back to doing what you want. Like it shouldn't be we're
Right.
going
Make it.
like what point does it where does it make sense to prevent you from making money when you're in trouble because you owe somebody money? Like it doesn't, it goes against what they are trying to say they want. You know what I mean?
You should never get to a point where someone has to be in jail 17 times,
Yeah,
like,
that's
or 10
dumb.
times,
Yeah, there's no reason
or five
whatsoever for
times.
that. Yeah, that's
Like, if
why
jail and prison isn't working, like maybe one or a couple times, then obviously there needs to be something else.
I
But
used
that
to.
means, yeah, it means like in that time period of them being in jail or prison, like there needs to be stuff in there that's actually going to like take effect. And until that actually happens, like you actually see the change,
Well,
or like,
when they you back when they used to have it was three strikes and you're done when it comes to the law type thing, three felonies and you're in for life. You get a life sentence. When they used to do that, and they used to put people in insane asylums, the world was a lot better. At least this country was a lot better.
well, I mean, and if we go farther back, like it was just like the death was more of a prevalent situation too when it came to criminal activity or any sort of thing like that. Which um I know, like last time we talked about like the importance of like the fact that God has breathed life into each and every person, and like taking someone's life for any reason is like it's powerful because you're taking the breath of God away. But there needs to be like an understanding, like this guy here, like just takes someone's life. I don't know whether mental illness or not, which I think we blame a lot
Yeah,
of stuff on mental illness, which I
yeah,
believe there is mental illness. There's a lot of stuff in there. But if that's the case, then there needs to be
right.
like the issue that's
He sh-
treated
he should have
before.
been locked away somewhere until getting help with that, not walking around free for it to, you know what I mean, for
Right.
him to act out on other people for no reason and stuff. Like,
There were even situations where God allowed and called for people to be killed because he knew that, like, for instance, Pharaoh, he gave Pharaoh in Exodus, time after time after time after time, and then finally was like, his heart's hardened. It ain't changing.
Yeah.
Like, we're done. And he's done that to so many other people too. And I think that's where it comes to the fact of like in and probably more and more in our society, um, we're seeing people who are hardened to not just um, not just killing people, but just sin in general and darkness and evil in general. And so they're like we talk about all these shootings that are happening and everything like that, or even a stabbing, whatever it may be. Like, it is not because of gun laws and all that stuff. It's because of people's hearts. It's because of humanity,
Yeah.
and it's not gonna get any better.
Yeah. Um, the Charlie Kirk thing, I don't, I don't really. It doesn't surprise me, but I don't understand that one. Like from any side of, from any side of the perspective on that, I don't understand how killing him does anything beneficial for anything or anybody.
Doesn't
Like it just
if
doesn't make
anything, it's gonna piss some people
that.
off.
Well, that's what That's what a lot of people, these content creators on YouTube that we're covering and we're saying too, is like if this person thought it was gonna be some type of like power move for him and whatever he thinks is all it's gonna do is be the opposite 10 times or more. The opposite is going. Now all of a sudden people are really tired of it and really about to start acting out against it. When people have been sitting still trying to let the law take care of it, now I feel like people are about to say screw it and start acting out back.
I mean, this is and it's the fact that it happened. Um, it was not even like it was a peaceful event. He was just speaking and like he normally speaks.
Yeah.
So there was nothing to one be upset over, for one thing. And for Charlie Kirk, he was a great debater. He was a great speaker. He spoke his truth, right? But I mean, honestly, that was it.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't do anything to the extreme that anyone else does on as an influencer, things like that. He was just
Yeah.
very vocal about his beliefs, and he
He
beliefs in
and he even purposely never talked bad to anybody or talked down to anybody that he was talking to. He was genuinely like a kind person to everybody. Gave everybody the freedom to speak what they felt. Didn't judge them or
very much
nothing
so.
like that. Just try to show his point. That's why I was like. That's what I'm saying. Like the only reason I said it doesn't surprise me is because there's so many crazy people out here nowadays that just do
Mhm.
pointless things. So much evil nowadays. People just do acting on evil and stuff so much. If people really want to be evil instead of good nowadays, that's the bad part about it. But like, so it doesn't surprise me that something happened, but at the same time, it's like, why him when he's probably the most respectful person to everybody in all sides, is just a family person and just speaks his truth, doesn't attack anyone, doesn't be hateful to anyone, just has conversations. Like, you can't even have a genuine conversation with anybody being respectful and nice without getting killed. Like,
Right.
it's like, what does that even?
I think that's the thing. Like, um, I think that's where it comes back to the fact that we're living in a society now where you can't believe. I mean, like, truly believe something anymore. Um, and especially when we talk about freedom of speech, you can't have that freedom of speech anymore. Like, I disagree with people on stuff so many times. I am fine with disagreeing with people. I fully believe that everyone has the choice to believe whatever they want to believe, whether they are right or wrong.
Yeah.
Um, and then that's but yeah, with Charlie, I like the fact that like listening to his debates and stuff like that, he talked to people like they were honestly smarter than they were. Like especially
Yeah.
on the colleges and stuff like that, he talked to you like you were actually an intellectual, and it was most of the people that he debated that were kind of like proven that like, oh, you're thinking a little bit higher of me than I actually am.
Yeah.
But I think it comes down to the fact that we're just in this like a time period where we like people feel like there's no other way to react other than with evil. Like, I mean, and the fact that this happened on the same day as another shooting, the shooting in Colorado, right? There was another shooting where
Mm.
I think three students right now are critically injured or possibly have died. I don't know.
Sad that we're at the day where every single day something's happening like this. It just became the normal thing now.
When you can't go anywhere now, like my wife was like, "Man, it makes me not want to go on a train for feeling as sad."
Yeah,
Like,
I don't.
you can't go to a movie theater. There were shootings in movie theaters, shootings in churches, shootings in schools,
Schools, you can't
shootings in
do nothing.
malls, shootings
Yeah.
shootings at festivals, at concerts, at everywhere. And like it's more and more that you have to like it's a wake up call that you have to be prepared that anywhere you go, it could be your last like
Yeah.
day.
Well, it's. I feel like there's a group of people out here in the world that are trying to force something that they want to happen. And I feel like they've been trying to do it, and all the other ones, either all the other times are failing, or this is just part of their slow paced process or plan. But they're not dumb. They're definitely not dumb people on how they move and stuff. If you look at over time how stuff has changed without us even knowing, it's almost like they swept the rug out secretly. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
it happened, like it almost like it happened in a snap of a finger, but it's been happening slowly to the point, and they know what pace to go to where you don't notice it happening. You know what I mean? Like, but
Right.
but look where we're at now compared to where we were just 20 years ago or 10 years ago. Really, just that. Like what the heck happened? Like it seems like it happened out of nowhere, but it's been slowly happening. They've been slowly doing it, and they're doing it for something they want. Either they want some type of war to happen, they want people to fight, or something. They want something. You know what I mean? And they're willing
Yeah.
to kill people to make it happen, to encourage people to make it happen. Like,
I think if we go like the spiritual route, like I know there's been several posts and influencers that have done the whole like, oh, we asked ChatGPT like, if you were the devil, how would you destroy like the world
Chat
and stuff like that.
GPT.
And um like, and of course ChatGPT is like, well, I would take the prayer out of schools and religion out of
The
this, and
whole
I would
speech from that
make people do
guy,
this.
that yeah, the whole
Yeah.
speech the guy
And
made back. Yeah.
I see like I see the truth in that and the fact that like um in order to like all the things that are happening, like we talk about the racial division, um, which I feel like most black people probably don't agree with my view on the race thing, but because I'm probably closer to Charlie Kirk on that aspect than anything.
uh,
Like I'm like I always liked what he says, like like what is white privilege? I'm like I think there's more people trying to have like white guilt than white privilege.
right.
Like these days there's nothing that is stopping you as a ethnic person from like doing anything that a Caucasian person can, um, except for the mentality that a lot of black people, uh, or just in general, ethnic people have grown up with, based off of culture. And I think it's
Oh,
more black people because,
real quick, I would even add to that or say on that today now compared to what it was before, there's even way more opportunities for black people than there are white people nowadays and stuff, or what there ever
I
has
agree.
been. But I feel like so many people want to be stuck in the mindset that they had to be in before, but it's changed now. They got what they were fighting for, but they don't want to accept it and realize that and change their mindset on it. They want to stay in that whole mindset of, no, we're being held back, we're this, we're that. Well, no, if you really look at it, there's a lot more things set up nowadays to help black people do things over just about anybody else in this
Right.
country. So
There's so many diversity things out there that it's just like,
everybody hopped on that, and
right. But
so
I mean, it's true. Like, I posted like I think a couple years ago. I was like, black people, stop saying you're oppressed. You're not oppressed
yeah.
because
If you
there's
had,
no oppression.
if you got people like Oprah, Denzel Washington, LeBron James, like if you think about how Tyler Perry, like think about how many people that are, I guess, of color or whatever you want to say, not even just black, just anybody in this country that's not white or from Europe or something like that,
Mm,
that is rich, powerful, and in positions of power in the highest places.
yeah,
You can't. At some point, you gotta stop. You just gotta stop, yo. Like it just doesn't make sense. Like
right. You gotta stop and just like realize, okay, we've got what we quote unquote wanted. Like, there's no need for what is it, reparations from the
yeah,
past. Like, no, the white
yeah,
people don't owe the black people for years of slavery. Like, it's done. Okay, it's done. Like,
yeah.
we're not paying you $5 bajillion.
At some point, no matter what race you are or whatnot, at some point you gotta realize that you gotta stop blaming other things in society and start blaming your own choices for where you are in life. Just because you're not in
Right.
LeBron's spot, you probably didn't put in the work he put in either, did you? You know what I'm saying? Like you didn't put in the dedication and all that either. Like, so you gotta stop blaming society and start taking blame on your own choices for where
At
you
some
are,
point, you
you know?
realize that is is not a race thing anymore as much as it's individual choices.
Yeah, that's all
Like,
it is.
yes, there are people that are racist out there,
Yeah.
but just because there are racist black people, I've heard more racist remarks from black people than I've heard from white people.
Me too.
So,
You already know what I
right?
grew up around, and me too. Like,
Yeah,
I'll tell the truth on it. Like, I've grown up
like
around all different types of sides. Been like, grew up in a black family, everything like that. Were just like that. Like, that's why I don't think, see, a lot of people probably wouldn't understand with me is I grew up around and with a black family that is a lot of the stereotypes. A
mhm,
lot of what you hear, a lot of them were like that. You know what I'm saying? But so I grew up on a lot of sides. I've been around white people that are racist. I've been around, and I'll have to say the more aggressive racist people have been black people.
yeah,
They have been. Yeah.
for real,
I think a lot of
because
that comes from like just what they grow up. They grow up being taught certain ways and stuff like that from it's just well, I guess all that comes back to is what we said is the mindset. People got to get out of the mindset that they used to be in because it's not that way anymore. You got to adapt your mind, renew your mind to what it is now. Like
yeah, and the church has to do better because, like, I think it was the Catholic school shooting that we were talking about that
yeah,
happened.
yeah.
Right. It really like honed in because I believe, if I'm mistaken, like the mom of that person worked at the church or was a part of the church or something,
Who did the
or they've
shooting?
grown up with the church. I feel I've I've noticed a lot of those who have done like the shootings, especially in like the religious aspects, have either grown up in the church or have been brought up with like that religion or have a past trauma from that religion. And that just says a lot. Like, I grew up in the church. All of us have had some sort of experience with that. But like, I can see where the church has caused a lot of trauma, has caused uh, a lot of division, a lot of even some mental health issues when it comes to a lot of people like coming up through certain things, whether it be legalistic or whether it be um, even somewhat cultish, whatever like that. Um, and I see that a lot of those people who have struggled or have had some sort of trauma with that have been the perpetrators for a lot of stuff. And I'm not blaming the church specifically because I still believe like the church is made up of imperfect people. You're gonna have imperfect things with the church, right? The church is not gonna be perfect, but the church in general does need to do better in taking care of people versus
Yeah.
just trying to get people into a building and a part of a an institution of the church. Um,
Yeah.
'Cause I think that will make a difference in a lot of things.
Do you think? Do you think? I mean, I know what church is. Church isn't the building, but do you think God? I mean, not God. Do you think the devil purposely switch people's minds on what religion is, or like took something, you know how, because like he can only take something that God creates and try and like try to convince people to do wrong with it or whatever like that, try to confuse people by it or something. So
Mm.
like church started off the right way, people just meeting together in certain places and stuff like that. And then do you think maybe the devil slowly got his way in and turned it into this whole, hey, come to this building, give us this money, do this, do that. Let's just come and listen. You need this, or you're, you know what I mean? Like this and that. Like, I'm just wondering if church switched to the modern age church because the devil took over, slowly, finally took over more of the leaderships in the churches and stuff, and a lot of the pastors don't seem like they really are for God and stuff, and it's
Yeah, I think I mean, it all goes back to like Lucifer and Genesis and everything like that. I think it comes into the point of like church, like you said, like was one church wasn't popular necessarily um
yeah,
until like I mean it did become somewhat popular when it came to the apostles. But it was more of a hey, we're meeting and we're fellowshipping and we're strengthening each other, we're building each other up.
yeah.
Um, but I mean, even the churches in Apostles Paul time, like there's a reason he wrote those letters to them because they were struggling with all sorts of stuff. But I think as soon as you get people involved, like it didn't take long for um the churches that Paul was writing to be dealing with like adultery in the church and deal with like stealing in the church and dealing with false teachers in the church and all that stuff. Whenever humans get involved, we're like it comes down to pride,
Yeah,
and it becomes like to my
selfishness
church and
and
our
stuff,
church and our church program and our kids program and
competition.
um right like our why like our conference to fill people in the pews
I,
and our sermon,
you
yeah.
know, when I learned that the most, I one year I played basketball for a church team because a friend asked me to, and I
Mhm.
realized then, because I mean, you literally had kids out there acting like we're in pro or something like that, talk cussing and everything. Like they didn't care about church or nothing or God. They were just there to try to play basketball or something. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they don't. It wasn't even a. And then like the audience literally acting like it's some pro game. They're not inside of a church or something like. And it was a church from like up the road, Highland Heights. They acted. They
I'm from Highland Heights, yeah.
dude. The
I think
people
there's a
from
difference. Like
there are they.
your church has to be less about them and more about them. You know, I think when it's when you start trying to, I get it. Like, in this day and age, like the church is not just a church; it's a business. You know, they have bills to pay, they have all this stuff. But if you are like more focused on incoming than outreach, you there's a problem.
It's almost like churches have become a therapy session instead of being about building each other and whatever else. It's like a
Almost
feel
like a
good.
business.
Hey, come here and feel good for the you know what I mean?
It's a system.
Yeah.
It's a system just like man, for probably out reaching for this one, but system just like we were talking about for the jails and the prisons.
Yeah.
Like we get them in,
Hmm.
um, and like we preach to people, and we tell them they need to like rehabilitate really versus like change their lives. Like if we would actually like when people come in, focus on them changing their lives and seeing lives changed versus filling seats and versus converting to our, like I there was a thing where one of my books that I was writing, I had a character in it that was gay, and I'd done some like really thinking about this, but like in this one situation, he was visiting a church and stuff like that, and he's like, all right, like what are you gonna like the pastor, like what are you gonna say to fix me and make me not gay? And the pastor was like, uh being gay isn't your problem at all. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to fix you from being gay. I just want you to be whole. I want you to be healed.
Yeah.
Like he's like it's not about being gay, and it's not about being like mentally ill or anything like that. Like there's a deeper issue other than what we a lot of times see, and if it's not addressed in the church, where that's where it should be. Like we should be like looking at people deeper than just, oh, they came and visited and we got them. Let's keep them visiting. Like we need to be like every person that's in that church, like truly focused on lives being changed, not just
Yeah.
pews being filled or seats being filled or
Yeah.
programs being
It's
accessible.
funny. I remember seeing TD Jakes one time speaking on something like that on one of his sermons where he would say what happened to when churches people would walk in and literally demons would be cast out by the members would literally be casting demons out of people and everything. Like he was like, what happened to that in churches? What happened? Because basically everything is switched to where it's not about what it's supposed to be about. It's about entertainment and stuff and some feel good thing. And
True. I mean, shoot, the disciples had the authority and power to like go into like places and cast out demons and stuff like that. And
we
like honestly, we have that power.
that's what I was about to
We
say the
have the
same
power
thing.
to see like so much
Yeah, we
change,
do
right?
too. Yep, we have
Like,
the power to do that stuff. Is
but we really don't care. Like, it's
um
inconvenient and it takes a lot of time. Honestly,
yeah.
if I'm being honest, it takes a lot of time. Like, I'm thinking about the people who are like on Sunday, like, oh yeah, well, like after church, we're thinking about food and getting the kids here and doing this with the family, and we got this event, and then we got to get ready for work and school the next
Hmm.
day, and
Too
all this. Like,
busy.
we filled right. We are truly too busy to like be used by God as much as we could be.
Yeah, that's why I'm not gonna lie. I think I like the winter. I like the summer, but something about the winter is nice because everything kind of slows down a little bit.
Yeah,
Like I feel everybody and everything in life is moves too fast and doesn't. People need to remember to slow down and take a few minutes at least just to be at peace and enjoy the day or enjoy like life and things like that. Take time to yourself for your mental and things like stop moving. It's not all about checking stuff off a checklist 10 things a day. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah. I mean, I don't.
sometimes you gotta slow down
Right.
and pay attention and be aware of what's going on around you and what's happening in life and stuff.
The thing about the winter nowadays, and I noticed this last year the most. I feel um, like you've got the major holidays in the winter that is kind of like focused on you checking off lists like Santa Claus and like being busy and like the Thanksgiving holiday is not just about like the thing. It's truly about like okay, well we got to get the food together. There's got to be family. This who's meeting at what house? Where are we going here? Oh yeah, by the way, there's gonna be people going on this football game. Oh, there's the parade on. Oh, then we got to get ready for Black Friday and then Cyber Monday
Hmm.
because we got to make sure all the shopping is ready for Christmas,
Yep.
which is another holiday that we've got to really like.
Yeah.
We don't
Devil's
even know what the holiday's about anymore.
devil's
We can't
gotta
even say Thanksgiving and Christmas anymore.
like that's what I said. The devil's gotta make sure you're too busy to pay attention to what's going on around you and what God's doing and all that stuff. He's gotta keep you too busy. You know what I mean?
Right. I sat in church last Christmas and I looked around and I was like, does anyone even truly like care about what Christmas means? Like if we did the modern day version of Christmas and like Jesus was being born, right? I don't feel like the angels one would have come to anyone in my church. I'm just
Yeah,
being
probably
honest.
not.
Like we would have probably been like, "Oh, what?" Like several months later, like, "Oh, you heard someone was born?" Well, actually, would have been several hours later because of like Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. But we wouldn't have really cared. It was kind of like, "Oh yeah, cool." Like next,
We probably
like in
would have
this day and
called him
age, if
Santa or an elf or something.
right, or would have demonized Jesus and been like, "Yo, like,
That's some
yeah,
evil
I don't know
shit
what this
right
person
there.
is talking about. There's some bad juju going on in that
Yeah,
stable."
I don't like the sound of
Like,
that.
but like, I wondered how many people around me actually cared, truly cared, or even really thought like, wow, like we're really remembering the fact that Jesus came as a baby, like the Savior, the Messiah. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that if it was today's day and age, like it would have been like a lost story on a reel somewhere.
There have been a bunch of social medias out there lying about it, what's going on, lying about what's
Oh yeah,
happening. Bunch of idiots out there with their phones or something recording, trying to troll everything. Like everybody, like I said earlier to Chelsea, everybody for some reason out here thinks I blame it on social medias, but everybody for some reason think everything out here in life is a movie scene or some video game. Everybody with a camera on them acts like nothing is real, like they can just say what they want, do what they want, and nothing's gonna happen. Or all of a sudden there's some superhero that can take on the military when it's just some guy with like some pistols or something. Like you
or
idiot! Like what are
it's
you
for self
like?
gain.
Like what are you
Like people
talking
can't even
about?
do anything. People can't even do anything like genuinely kind or like generous anymore unless they film it or unless they record it and like share
Yeah,
it.
and
Like
try to make money
I'm
off it
being
or
kind
something.
today. Let me
Yeah.
share that I fed the homeless today.
Everybody clap for me. Everybody praise me, so I feel good about myself. Like,
Right.
feeling good
I did
about
a good
yourself
deed.
over some internet fake stuff is probably bots hitting the button, not even real people. Like
Right.
people got themselves
We
confused over something that's not even real.
It's true. I said this as like, for music, but I say this for like churches as well and pastors and influencers. Like if if all you had was one person that your stuff impacted for the rest of your life,
Yeah.
like pastors, if only one person actually showed up to your church, or musicians, if one only one person actually listened to your music, or influencers, if only one person actually like followed you, like would you still be content, like sharing and your belief or sharing your message.
Yeah.
If that only that one person was there, because that's all that matters, really.
Yeah. That's the only body count that matters, ain't it?
The only thing that matters is
That's
you
the only
actually
real
like
body count. How many have you
like we get
saved?
like
Not
I think we
physically, but
confused like
spiritually.
the whole Great Commission aspect of like go make disciples in all the world to be like go have a lot of people follow you.
Yeah.
I think that's the confusion of like, oh, we're supposed to go and like you're supposed to go make disciples. You're not supposed to have go and have like 5 million followers because you know you might not they might not even follow you. It could just be like
Telling them,
uh, Philip in the situation where God was just like, "Yo, just go to this one Ethiopian dude and preach the gospel, and that's it.
yeah,
Like,
like,
just do
well,
that."
God knew that humans wouldn't be able to handle that much responsibility and power of having a million people following you and doing whatever you say and stuff like that. God knew we would use it to corrupt stuff. Like that's what I think. That's why I think we're not really supposed to have that. We're not supposed to have
Right.
that many people following us. We're supposed to just lead the people that are around us. I think you know what I mean, like in our life personally, not lead a bunch of strangers that know nothing about you and you wouldn't even y'all could walk past each other and y'all wouldn't even know each other, but y'all talk
Right.
online like y'all are best friends or something, like y'all known each other forever. Like it's,
I think it's what like um what I did like about Charlie Kirk because I could guarantee you, I would say that I can guarantee you that if last night like God had told him like, oh by the way, tomorrow you're it's done, like you're gonna be shot tomorrow, like he wouldn't have. And like, I guess I'm not gonna go speak. I'm not gonna share what I
yeah,
have to say.
yeah, he comes across to me like that too, like he still would have just went out there and did what it. And I feel like he would have done it because I feel like he knew the whole time that he was on a mission. He knew that that was his mission
Right.
the whole time, what he was doing. So for him not to go out there and do it would be turning his back on the mission, you know what I mean, that he got from, that he was given. Um, Back on the Charlie Kirk
That's
thing
not
while
the
we got
majority.
a little bit of time though.
Yeah.
So people already, it's weird. I don't understand how people do this, but there was a guy interviewing these females outside of the place. Like they were in there and watched it happen, whatever. This one younger girl says she was stood there and she watched it happen. That Charlie Kirk got shot in his chest near his heart area and blood came flying out of his chest, whatever. And she thinks he died on impact. And then the guy goes down, just two people in the line, asked this other lady, a little bit older lady, asked her what happened. She said she seen everything, said Charlie Kirk got shot in the neck. So it's like, how do you have somebody, just two people down the line, both of them said they were there and saw the same thing, but both of them say two different things? It's
I think it's
like,
just a shock of the situation because the video. I unfortunately saw the video, and I'm not a squeamish person whatsoever, but
yeah,
it was it was very like point blank graphic of just like you
yeah,
saw it was like
um,
that's probably the first time I've like looked at the video and like wow like that really like hit.
and then the other part of it was like the news. I don't know if it was the news, but people were coming out saying that um, it had to have been somebody up close. It had to have been a shooter that was up close to then all of a sudden it was a shooter from 200 yards away in some window to they and then the first thing they said was they got the shooter, they had him under arrest, whatever, to like 30 minutes later saying that wasn't the shooter and the shooter is at large, to going back to, so that's what the news people were saying. But then the lady that the guy was interviewing that said he got hit in the neck, the lady was like, yeah, the old white guy with the white hair and the blue shirt that they had arrested, yes, that's who shot him. But
Yo,
the news
that's
came
some
on
awkward
talking
shit.
about that's not who shot him. and the person was at large, so that really wasn't the person who shot him. But the person who was there literally said they have a video of the guy on video, or a picture of the shooter, said that was definitely the guy who did it, and you could hear him yelling, "I would do it again if I had to." But then, but then there's another video some student posted, a YouTube short, where he zoomed into the building that they're saying the guy shot from, and there was some figure in all black in a black hoodie laying on top of the building, laying flat on the top of that building. And then there's another video from somebody in a press box where you see this figure on top of that building. Right after the gunshot happens, you see this figure go running off that was standing on top of the building. So it's like already there's so many different stories. It's like,
It's just the power of well, okay, it's just the delusion of media and news. And I think people just always forget that the news isn't there to actually give you the truth. Like
no.
the news is there to keep you tuned in. Like
Yeah, to get you to watch so
they're
they can get paid and stuff.
I don't care if it's
Bring stories.
liberal news, conservative
Yeah.
news, whatever it is, it's the media. The media is there for a purpose to keep you watching and keep you like tuned into them. And so there's going to be tons of stories. And it's like telephone. People always laugh at the game telephone. Telephone is legitimately the most truthful little game ever where it's like, oh, one person says this to one person, it's going to get messed up.
By the end of the line, it's changed. Yeah.
Right. It's gonna be confusion. And so like I think that's where you we have to always be praying for discernment whenever we watch or listen to the news or the media, even when it comes to whatever political belief or liberal or conservative or in between that you are, like if you aren't careful and praying for discernment, you can be swayed to the wrong stuff because no matter what you believe, it's imperfect and it's gonna fail.
One other thing I'll
Whatever.
bring up about that, and just the way how disgusting society is nowadays. I went on, obviously YouTube creators were going live and covering it and stuff. But people in the live stream chats, like,
So
I
half of that is
understand
so
there's
offensive.
trolls, but it's so like there's so many weirdos out here going on there and celebrating somebody getting shot. And then there's other weirdos in there talking about Trump next, repeating it over and over and stuff. And then there's people in
Yeah.
there talking about, oh, who cares about him next, stuff like that. But I bet you, as soon as somebody starts retaliating and some Democrat or some person like that ends up getting shot, then all of a sudden they're gonna boo-hoo and cry about it.
Yeah.
But that's sad. Another sad thing is he was only 31, had a wife,
Wife and
has
kid.
two kids young enough to where they don't even know what's happening. They just know dad's not around. Probably, I feel bad for his wife having to deal with kids that just wondering where dad's at, and she don't even know how to explain it to him. You know what I'm saying? Just because some psychopath, crazy person couldn't deal with someone else having a different opinion than they had. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Like,
the thing. Like we are we are we have gotten to a society which one death doesn't unless death directly affects our political view or belief or something like that, it doesn't affect us. And so we get desensitized to it. Like it shouldn't have mattered if it was Charlie Kirk or Biden or whoever. Like no one deserves to have their like in that specific
yeah,
setting in that situation have their life taken away from them like that. And no family deserves to have like their family member taken away like that. And we don't think about it unless it's like
yeah.
or selfishly like
Hmm.
related to us or what we
Unless it
believe or something
doesn't
like that.
directly affect us somehow. Yeah.
But just the fact that there are like you said before, like there's school shootings and so many like public shootings and people dying that it's kind of become like, okay, like what's the next story or what's the next shooting that's going to happen? Like at some point it's going to escalate even more because those people who have like that's the automatic thought of is like, oh, go shoot up the people that we don't like
Yeah.
or shoot up this whatever. It's going to be like, okay, well, shooting up a school is not going to be enough.
Yeah.
Like, what's next?
I mean, they're already doing everything, so the only thing that can happen from here is the other side start retaliating back, and it just be some big fight. That's the only other thing that can happen because they're already doing everything else.
I know. I think I was the only person that was like, whenever I thought the Purge movies were like
Yo,
I was like, yo, that is not far off.
yo, I
Like
didn't.
honestly,
I was just gonna say, maybe like a year or two ago when people were talking about it's real, it's gonna happen. These secret service military people like talking and making little videos talking about it. I was like, this. I was like, I get it can get wild, but there's no way that's gonna happen.
you, I could see it happening and being like, you know what? Here's next.
Well,
One day a year, we're gonna have it to where y'all just go at each other and then after 24 hours we'll see who's left. I
if
could see something like that happening.
if you can commit 17 crimes and be walking free, the purge is here. Like they're basically
Facts.
telling you you can do whatever you want and you're not gonna get in trouble for it.
Facts. The key is again, be ready because you are not guaranteed tomorrow. But even if you weren't guaranteed tomorrow and you knew that, are you still going to live the way you're supposed to, and you're still going to be like that light? Like I always say like, yo, if Joseph knew that he was going to be sold into slavery, and he was going to be like lied upon and be put in prison and all that stuff, like would he still have gone through it? I think Joseph would have done that. Would I have done that? I ain't gonna say I would have done that. I'm gonna say, but
That's
like, yo, like I would love to say that I would have, but and I think that we all should have that aspect. Like if Daniel knew that he was gonna be thrown in the lions, then without knowing, right? We have the aspect of like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego saying like, well, even if God doesn't save us from a fiery furnace, we're still gonna serve Him. Like it's all well and good when we read in the Bible, but if it comes in
yeah,
real life, like if we
yeah,
know that tomorrow we're gonna go out and someone's gonna be like, listen, like if you don't, you know, say that you're not gonna believe what you believe, I'm gonna shoot you and kill you. Like, are we staying home and not moving?
yeah,
Are
yeah. I
we
get,
like,
yeah,
are
I feel
we
that.
going to be like figure out a way to recount our faith and be like, I'll just say that, I'll just lie
Yeah,
and say that just to appease them?
yeah.
Like, what is our beliefs? Whatever your beliefs are, okay. I'm gonna strictly talk to the Christians, but like, are your beliefs? You believe, truly believe, to where you're ready, no matter what.
So one other thing I'll say, last thing I'll say on it is that's probably something I'm like 50-50 on. It's one of those things for me where it's like I guess it's one of those things that's like I know my place, so I just be quiet and let God do what he does type of thing, like where you know you're not the boss, so but you might not agree with it or have the same opinion, but you know where you gotta be at or where you stand at, you know what I mean? Um because I don't understand like or coming from me it's like or let me just say it like this. When I had a conversation with God, God responded with, should we, so this guy that killed the girl, this guy that shot him, these people in the chats and stuff that are promoting violence and death to people and stuff, should we massacre them and get rid of them? That's what God asked me.
Mm.
And And I'm honestly, I was like 50-50. It's like, I'm like, I mean,
Right.
but then I had to think about it. He didn't say what would be fair. He said, should we do that? And he said, and if you say yes, then Jesus came for no reason. Jesus was on the cross for no reason. Because he said, none of you, even me, deserve to go to heaven, but he didn't. He still sacrificed himself for us. So he said, if you want to know what, just maybe even 10% or less on what God or what Jesus was on that, he was like, you have to love them, you have to clothe them, you have to forgive them, you have to feed them and everything. The same people that are saying wishing death on you, you're supposed to feed them.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of get what I'm saying? So I was like, well,
Mm-hmm.
you know what? Let me slow down a little bit on saying what I think people should get, because I probably did something at some point in my life that people probably would have said the same for me, you know. And what was the
Yeah.
point of Jesus being crucified if we're just going to massacre people and do away with them because they do something we don't agree with or something? You gotta get what I'm saying? Or be bad or be
Yeah.
negative or be evil, because we all have evil stuff, like sometimes, like,
That's a fact, right? Like
but
a lot of us forget that we're all the villain. Like none of us are the hero in this situation. And in any situation, God is. Like Jesus was the hero. That's the only hero.
I feel like he wanted that message out there on this, because like everything was talked about, but I think that might be one of the final messages for people on this. Like, when it comes down to it, what was the point of God coming down and sacrificing himself for us who don't deserve, who really deserve to be what, massacred and tossed away? Just like I would feel like somebody that does that doesn't, shouldn't deserve to walk and live. You kind of know what I mean. So he
Facts.
brought that to my mind of like, who was Jesus? What was the point of Jesus? What was the point of him being crucified? And am I not supposed to try to be like him? So in this situation, I have to love the people that hate me, love the people that want violence. I'm still supposed to love them, and if they need help, I'm still supposed to help them.
Mm. And then I'm gonna drop the mic.
Obviously, more in detail, you could explain what help and stuff like that would be like, but just in general, just a general mindset type of thing.
Right.
You're not supposed to hate people who hate. You still got to, you still got to be like Jesus in that perspective, and still be willing to speak God to them, still be willing to love them, still be willing to feed them if they're hungry and stuff.
It's true. I mean, that's all it comes down to.
Yeah.
And if everybody had that mindset,
Probably there'd be a lot less violence and stuff because people wouldn't have so much hate for each other.
mm,
And if everybody had everything everybody else had, everybody literally was equal on everything, nobody would have anything to hate on. Somebody would probably find something, but you know what I mean, because they're humans. But you get what I'm saying, though. Like, there would be really no,
mhm,
it would erase a lot of the reasons why people would get jealous or something like that.
if we had that right view of people, we would actually like care for people and love for people, and no one would be left through those cracks.
Yeah.
However hard it might be for them to be rehabilitated or healed or whatever from uh life of crime or mental illness or just hate in general, like it would be about caring for people instead of only being focused on us.
Yeah. I guess we'll end with everybody pray for Charlie Kirk's family and the girl's family and
And this
everybody
the family that
else's
lives in
families. Like there's so much stuff
yeah
happening. Like um
Colorado. Was it
yeah
the Catholic school up
yeah,
in
was it Minnesota or something?
Minnesota?
It was just
Um,
pray for people out here, pray for the families and stuff. Charlie Kirk, I feel like is a big loss to society
yeah,
on the good side. I feel like we lost a good one today, but it's all in God's purpose, I believe. So
yeah.
something, there's a
He gained
reason.
everything.
Yeah, there's a reason, but
There's a
yeah,
reason. It might be the fact that like as much good as Charlie Kirk did while he was alive, like his death may spark something in some others.